mic on? Yes. Señoras y señores, buenos días. I must ask your pardon. I do not have the privilege or the pleasure to speak your language, so I must present today on English. Let's begin. Paradigm Research Group was formed in 1996 for the exclusive purpose of pursuing the advocacy of the UFO issue on a political basis, to achieve a resolution of this, at least fundamental resolution, regarding this phenomenon. And it is done and attempted to do this by all means possible for 13 years. And the principal concept was one of what I call normalization, meaning this. The UFO ET phenomena is like any other issue, and it should be treated that way. Environment, nuclear proliferation, and all the other affairs of states and peoples. So, these other issues have lobbyists in Washington, D.C., and so this issue should have a lobbyist. In 96, Paradigm Research Group registered with the Congress of the United States to lobby on the UFO ET issue, and was the first to do so. This issue should have a political action committee. Therefore, in 1999, created the Political Action Committee, XPAC, to address the issue. It should be discussed in the political campaigns, particularly at the federal level for Congress. So in 1992, I was able to get on the ballot in the congressional election for the House of Representatives, and debated the issue and brought it up in the context of that campaign with the other candidates. The eventual winner was Chris Van Hollen. And it should have a conference. So in 2004, we launched the X Conference, which was the first to deal with the UFO ET phenomenon from a exopolitical perspective. Then in 2008, created the Exopolitics United States Network, followed by the Exopolitics World Network. Goal here was simple. This is a global issue, and exopolitics needs to spread. And that was happening, and so this was PRG's humble effort to help that process. Exopolitics World Network was a simple idea. One site per country, devoted to exopolitics, exopolitics Spain, exopolitics France, and so forth. Volunteer, no funding for this. And the question was, who would step forward to run these sites? Didn't know, went ahead, and wow, how wonderful. The people that came forward to create these sites and advance the issue in their country were extraordinary. Starting not least with Pepon Hober, who of course has created and runs the Exopolitics Spain website. And then we have others here today who are representing other sites, such as Jean-Charles Dubat, the pilot and important witness we'll be talking about later. He is running the Exopolitics France and the Exopolitics United Kingdom site. David Griffin, he is here. Exopolitics Germany, Robert Fleischer is here. In fact, as again he did for the X Conference, he's live streaming this conference to the internet right now, and people around the world are watching this live. Pretty cool. And then we have Frederick Guldahl is here, Exopolitics Denmark. And Uli Padrola, Exopolitics Finland, he is here. And I'm going to mention Uli a little bit. Uli is a new site. I've met him for the first time. Uli is a highly accomplished scientist in biology with many degrees, and also academic and a teacher, now retired. And he has stepped into this issue with great courage, created a site. This is not common for academics and scientists at this level to do this, but he did it. He had the courage, so he makes it easier for another scientist and another university professor to get involved and do the right thing. And so we're up to 17 countries, and it's growing. The fact is, exopolitics is growing in Europe much faster than the United States right now, and that's not surprising. And Europe is going to play a major role, of course, in all this. So we have a lot of other countries. If you would like to have the Exopolitics site created, run it for your country, by all means get in touch with Paradigm Research Group. And then The main facts in Washington started in November 5, 2008. We'll talk about that later. It's the major project, probably the most important of PRG. And then hopefully later this year, maybe the winter, hope to launch the Paradigm News Daily, which is an attempt to create another media site, real media site, addressing this issue in a way that is very mainstream, so that we can start getting press credentials to a lot of the people in this field who are doing journalism, so they can get access to the White House maybe, and other venues and so forth with press passes. Now, 1947. 1947 was a big year in the United States, let me tell you. Many things happened. The National Security Act was passed, the CIA was created, and something else happened. That year, an organization called the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists created a clock called the Doomsday Clock to bring awareness to the threat of nuclear war. It was a wonderful concept, many of you know about it. And the idea was simple. If that clock strikes midnight, you've had a nuclear war, and you're in big trouble. All right? That's midnight on the Doomsday Clock. This image, this icon, it's lived with us, unless you're older than 62 or 64, your whole life. What an amazing thing. It has affected us in ways we cannot imagine. So, when I launched the Paradigm Research Group website, I created another clock called the Paradigm Clock to bring awareness to this issue of the ET issue and its resolution. Now, midnight on the Paradigm Clock was disclosure. And disclosure in a carefully defined way. It's very specific. It's with a capital D. And it's the formal acknowledgement by the world governments of a non-human extraterrestrial intelligence from somewhere. Doesn't really matter politically. Engaging the human race. That's midnight on the Paradigm Clock. And the fact is that in a way, since 1947, we have been in a race to see which clock strikes midnight first. Will it be this clock? Will it be disclosure? Or will it be this clock? Will it be nuclear war? And as you know, the threat of nuclear war has not gone away. Those nukes are still in their place. They can be reassigned at any time, and they're starting to spread. And so, in 1947, something else happened, and that was the beginning of what I call the UFO era. Many countries in the world were aware something was going on because of the Foo Fighter phenomenon, which was never explained, but there was a war happening, so it was not a high priority matter. But then, 47, this man, Kenneth Arnold, reported to the media seeing, and he was a very respected pilot, seeing 9 discs near Mount Rainier, and the era of the UFO was off and running. But something else started in 1947. The truth embargo. It informally began when this man, Roger Ramey, general at Fort Worth, ordered William Blanchard, the base commander at Roswell, to change this story. Essentially, the Roswell Army Air Force captures a flying disc on the ranch at Roswell, the most legendary known event and this issue in the world easily. To change the story the next day to this, General Ramey empties the Roswell saucer. And that's followed by General Ramey ordering Jesse Marcel Sr., the intelligence officer, to present to the press what is clearly weather balloon material. Thus, informally began the truth embargo. It solidified over the next 5 years. It was well in place, fully formed by the end of 1952 in the Robertson panel.